firmly believe that God is not done with him yet. God has given him a much-deserved rest, but he is not done with him yet. Season of celebration, we're celebrating spring, and all of that. I don't know about you guys, maybe it's just me, but spring is such a special time for me. It's like the world wakes up. I used to say rebirth, but I've really changed that in the last few years because it's a regrowth. There's things going on that we can't see, but that doesn't mean it has to be born again and start all over from scratch. It means that we haven't been seeing what was going on. For those of you that are involved with our Parents Stay Out, that was an incredible blessing this month. The kids had so much fun. Our outreach, we did a movie outreach here a week ago Thursday, Monday, Thursday. 44 people. And as we looked back, as I was sitting down in the front, as I looked back, it was like, we're filling this place up. I don't know how many seats are in there, but it looked like every time I looked at somebody, it was uniform people, or people that had been invited. So that's an incredible celebration. Easter last Sunday, if you were here, what a wonderful message from Brian Ladd. And the fact that he would come here to spend his Easter and celebrate with us was just phenomenal. I think there's still a couple of discs out on the stand out in the fellowship hall if you didn't hear his message and you weren't able to be here. Baptisms, children and families and young adults, and it was just like, this is so incredible, God. And all the things that we're doing, and it continues on. I told you there was something I forgot in the announcements, so I'm going to bring it up now. Exodus is having their revival. And there's a little insert. I didn't get an insert in mine, which is how I forgot. But do check that out. Our own Donald Murphy is going to be singing, I believe, on Wednesday. So if you've been blessed by Donald's music when he's been here, please go see that. We'll participate in that. We have our Link Volunteer Fellowship Dinner, Appreciation Dinner on Tuesday. So those are the two things that I left out. Like I said, spring and Easter, and I know that Walmart has already discounted the chocolate bunnies. The Easter accounts are over. But the tree, and the kids are just settling down from spring break. But the one thing that we can celebrate Easter any day of the month, any day of the year, is the fact of Jesus rising and living. Amen. He lives. I am thankful that there are so many examples in the Bible that have to do with planting and gardening and growing. I mean, that makes sense to my brain, and it's easy for me to comprehend things when you talk about something growing. But even for those of you that don't feel that you have a green thumb, all you need to do is look at nature. Just look around you. And with nature, the one thing nature teaches is that nature is always changing and always growing. And one of the first things that I love about spring is to see the blossoms and the flowers start to appear. The buds on the trees, the daffodils, little yellow ones, growing, and pretty soon the flowers fall off. But what appears? The green foliage, the green leaves, and soon the fruit. And then it'll transition and fall again. And the leaves will fall off and have that period of rest. So things are always changing, and that's really what it's on my heart to talk to you about today. is that, and you're seeing it, it's on the cover of the bulletin, you're seeing it, Pastor has said it, I've said it, and written it. One plants, one waters, and God gives the increase. And for those of us that are gardeners, you know that we usually, seems like we have a lot to do, and do a lot of that, but when you're talking about planting seed, particularly seed within a church, or seed within a congregation, or seed within a group or a crowd of people, one person can't do it. And if Mel, if you would pull up 1 Corinthians 3:6. For when one says, I follow Paul, and another, I follow Apollos, are you not mere men? What, after all, is Apollos? And what is Paul? Only servants for whom you came to believe, as the Lord has assigned to each of us his task. I planted the seed, Apollos watered it, but God made it grow. Paul planted the seed of the good news message in people's hearts. He was a missionary pioneer, and he brought the message of salvation. Apollos watered the seed. He helped the seed to grow stronger in the faith. Now, Paul had founded the church in Corinth, and Apollos had built upon that foundation. But tragically, the believers in Corinth had split into factions, pledging loyalty to one teacher or another. And after the preacher's work is completed, God is the one who makes Christians grow. God is the one who makes the seed grow. Now, our leaders should certainly be respected, but we should never place them on pedestals that create barriers between people or set them up as a substitute for Christ. Now, that's pretty powerful preaching, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. We should not compare ministries. And I'm going to say this again when I finish this section, but the messenger should never take the place of the message.
Amen.
Let me say that again. The messenger should never be put up higher or take the place of the message. Now, as we move on to verse 9, or the next set of verses, please, I'm sorry. 7. So neither he who plants nor he who waters is anything, but only God who makes things grow. The man who plants and the man who waters have one purpose, and each will be rewarded according to his own labor. For we are God's fellow workers. You are God's field, God's building. Now, if we think about that, and we've talked about different tasks and different parts of the body, and I don't really want to, there's not time today to do the different parts of the body too much. But think about that. If we plant, that's our task. If that's my task, that's my task to plant seed, and nobody waters it, what good is that? What good is that? If no one has planted the seed, and somebody comes along and faithfully waters it, you're left with nothing but mud. There is nothing for that water to do anything with. So it takes both. It takes both people doing the assigned task. And only God can assign that task. Now, God's work involves many different individuals with a variety of gifts and talents and abilities, and there's no superstars in the task. Because if one is not performing, if one does not do, whether it's the seed or the planter in this area, seed or the water, planting or watering, in this example, it's of no use to the other. You have to have both doing what they are assigned to do, the tasks that they are assigned to do. They need to perform their own special roles. We can become useful members of God's team by setting aside our desires to receive glory for what we do. We don't need to seek the praise that would come from people. It's worthless. Instead, we need to seek approval from God. On verse 10, please. By the grace God has given me, I lay the foundation as an expert builder, and someone else is building on it. But each one should be careful how he builds. The foundations of the church of all believers is Jesus Christ. Now, Paul laid the foundation by preaching Christ. When he began the church at Corinth, whoever builds the church, the officials, the teachers, the preachers, the parents, and others, must build with the highest quality of materials possible. The right doctrine, right living, study, prayer, meditation, these are all things that combine to make the right materials. And they're pleasing and worthy of God's standards. Now, Paul is not criticizing Apollos, but challenging future church leaders to have sound teaching and preaching. In the church built on Jesus Christ, each church member should be mature and spiritually sensitive and doctrinally sound. However, the church of Corinth was filled with those who slacked off, who built with wood and hay and straw. Members who were immature and insensitive to the needs of others and vulnerable to the wrong doctrine. Local church members should be deeply committed to Christ. And so must we as we build on to the future. God has done great things for you for the past 18 years. And we appreciate the leadership of our pastor. And as we welcome in the new pastor and go through this period of transition, we must stay the course and do the things that have been laid before us to do. Each of us has special gifts and abilities and talents, and we know the tasks that God has called us to do. And we must remain faithful to that, because with all the greater things that have been, greater things are ahead, and the best is yet to come. Go ahead, please. For no one can lay any foundation other than the one that's already laid. Folks, I'm here to tell you, the foundation to Uniform Christian Fellowship Church has been laid. Amen. We're standing on concrete, we're standing on the foundation. More importantly, we are standing on holy ground. And with that foundation, and the foundation built on Jesus Christ, that foundation is laid. We don't need to lay another one. We need to build upon it. We need to build upon each other, and we need to build upon the tasks that God lays before us. Right. If any man builds on this foundation using gold, silver, costly stones, wood, or hay, or straw, his work will be shown for what it is, because the day will bring it to light. It will be revealed with fire, and the fire will test the quality of each man's work. Now, people can tend to get a little antsy when they talk about testing on fire. But knowing who you are, knowing who Christ is in you, that fire test should not affect you at all. Because you know what the outcome is going to be. You've read it in Scripture, God's put it in your heart. You know you are going to stand the test. More importantly, you know what God has given to you for. In Matthew, excuse me, in Matthew chapter 16, verses 15 and 19, and we're not going to pull them up, so why you did. You guys said agree with me. But what about you, he asked. Who do you say that I am? Simon Peter answered, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus replied, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by man, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not overcome it. I will give you the keys to the kingdom. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. That is what will guide you through any testing, any fire testing. It is said, God built this church and nothing will come against it. God built uniform and nothing will come against it. God has given us the keys to the kingdom in this place right here, and nothing will stop God's church. Go back to Corinthians, please.
Go back to Matthew.
Corinthians.
Sorry. Now there are different kinds of gifts, but there's one Spirit and it's the same Spirit. There are different kinds of service, but more. There are different kinds of working, but the same God works all of them in all men. Now to each one, the manifestation of the Spirit is given for the common good. Hold on, wait for a second. That's okay. We are blessed to bless others. We are equipped and given talents and abilities, not for our own benefit, but to be of benefit and edification to others, to bring others along the way. Okay, no. There is given through the Spirit the message of wisdom, to another the message of knowledge by means of the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healing, that by one Spirit, to another miraculous powers, to another prophecy, to another distinguishing between spirits, to another speaking in different kinds of tongues, and still to another interpretation of the tongues. These are all different gifts given to different people. They're given by the same Spirit and for the same purpose. And all of these are the work of one and the same Spirit, and He gives them to each just as He determines. Okay, hold on for a second. The Spirit that we're giving, the gifts that we're giving, they talked about wisdom, and they talked about discernment, and they talked about speaking in tongues and interpretation of tongues and prophecy and all the different things. Each one is given to one, so that together they complete the picture. If you took a box, a puzzle, I should have brought one on this one. If you took a puzzle and you open the box, there's all these different pieces, and they fit together. They fit together and they work together to complete the whole picture. One in and of itself is not the complete picture. A couple is not the complete picture. It takes all of the pieces fitting together to complete the picture. Can we go back on that screen, please? All of these are the work of the same Spirit, and He gives them to each one just as He determines. We can't even choose what spiritual gifts we're given. God gives them to us to to fulfill this purpose. The body is a unit, and though it is made up of many parts, and through all its parts are many, they form what? What do they form?
One body.
One body. So it is with Christ. Instead of speaking the truth in love, we will in all things grow up into Him who is the head, that is Christ. From Him, the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. It grows. Having the gift is one thing. But if we're not utilizing that gift, or that ability, or that talent, and using it in conjunction with others who are using their gifts and talents, it doesn't grow. For Him, the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. Is that the last one? I gave her a whole bunch of them. Okay. So let's just go back and look at what we talked about. We are in a season of change. Season means change. Season can be short. Season can be long. Here in North Carolina, we've had a real good example of that. I don't know that we even had fall. I think we went from summer to winter. So it's not the length of time. It's not the calendar length of time that determines seasons. It's not man's calculation of, okay, I'm coming to Unifor and I only plan to stay there 1 year. It's not even that. It's not friends and people that we get to know. Everybody that comes into our lives, whether it's through these doors, through the doors of our homes, or the doors of our jobs, God brings these people in for a specific reason and a specific season, and we don't often know what that is. We learn what it is, but we don't often know when we first come in the door. So everybody has value and everybody has a purpose. I know I was talking with somebody and they said, well, what is uniform? We were talking about uniform. And they wanted to know, what is uniform? And so I started going, reciting the whole mission vision, and it was like, can you give me the Cliff Note version? The short version? I said, that's easy to do. Uniform is love. Uniform is God's love made known. We share God's love, we receive God's love, we pour out God's love. It's that simple. Uniform is not a single pastor. It's not a pastor. It's every one of us. We are co-laborers in the task and in this church. And one doesn't mean more important. It's all the same. Because it takes everything working together. Yes, there's one head in this church. One head of the church. And who is it? It's Jesus and God. That's absolutely right. The rest of us are connected today. We continued our discussion, and it was like they could not believe that our folks drive from as far as they do. And I said, well, personally, I drive about 30 miles one way. I was like, is there no other churches in between 30 miles? And it's like, yeah, I pass by 12 churches on my way here every Sunday morning, every time I come here. One's within a half a mile, one's within a mile of my home. But for 16 years, I'm going to drive 30 miles because this is where I want to be. It's not an accident. God called me to this place. It's not an accident. You are here this morning. It's not an accident. You came through that door the very first time. God called you here for a specific purpose. God called you here to be part of the planting and the watering and the growing of this mission. We are a purpose and mission-driven church. God has given us a specific task as a church body, as a single unit body. And I'm not going to recite the mission vision statement. Most of you know it. It's printed on probably your bulletin. But there is a reason. And each part of us had a part of accomplishing the mission that God laid before us. And these are so incredible times to do what God has wanted for this church. One of the first things that hit my spirit when I came to this church in 2003, I was standing in the parking lot down towards the center, back the corner. And what hit my spirit is God saying to me, I delight in this place. Now, delight is probably an archaic word, or at least an old-fashioned word, but think of a child sleeping. Look at this little baby sleeping. You can't help but to feel joy and delight in children and things when they accomplish something, when they figure out this math problem they've been working on for 30 minutes, and they finally get it. That brings delight and joy to your spirit. And we have that same spirit with God. God delights in this place. God has specific things that He wants us to do. And Uniforce Church will continue to grow and to walk in favor. We've celebrated 14 years of, actually 20, almost 24 years of favor. And if we look back, I've been doing a lot of this, looking back and thinking back, and we have so much more that lies ahead. I wish I could give answers of when, where, and how, and all that kind of stuff, but I can't. But I stand firm in the faith that when it is the appropriate time, when God has brought the appropriate pieces together, when we are acting in accordance to those pieces, when all these things line up together, the revelation will be made. And so these are exciting times. And I would ask them in the next probably 7-8 weeks, especially soon, let's celebrate this time. Let's celebrate what the past 14 years with God's appointed shepherd have meant to us. Because by doing so, we'll be aware, more aware of where we're going. Because those seeds have already been planted. And somebody will come along and water them. They'll continue to grow. But we have to understand our earth, they have been planted. And so I want to close this morning just repeating that one plants, one waters, and God gives the increase. God has done great things for Uniform in the past 14 years, and we truly do appreciate the leadership of our pastor. There are greater things ahead, and the best is yet to come. God's church will thrive, grow, and continue to walk in favor. So in all things, Lord, we're going to give you the praise and the glory in your precious Son, Jesus' holy name. Amen. If I could have my ushers bring up the offering, please.